We're back with another Hermitcraft member inspired base. Let's see who we get today. Also, if you want to see my other builds based on Hermitcraft members, you can check out the playlist linked in the description down below. All right, let's click the wheel and see who we get today. We're gonna get... Oh, looks like Tango Tech. Let's go. Okay, I know a lot about Tango Tech because I've followed him for years, and what comes to mind for me is redstone, decked out, and just crazy builds. So I'm gonna research some of Tango's past builds, maybe get some ideas from other Minecraft community members, see what we come up with. This is gonna be a lot of fun.
1 week later.
And I feel like this section over here is going to be perfect for Tango's base because it's right by Mr. Impulse SV. Okay, so I have laid out an entire diagram or entire outline of what I want this base to kind of look like. So it's going to be very similar to our castle that we did with Joe Hills, which if you haven't checked that out, you can check it out in the playlist listed in the description down below. But this spot that I'm on right now is the dead center of the doorway, which is going to lead into the main part of the base. And before I do any of the building in the walls, I want to see which redstone farms I can actually get inside of these areas, because I'd like to do a storage area, super smelter, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to see what I can get to fit in there before I do any of the actual aesthetic building. Okay, so over here I did a very simple sugarcane farm. Again, I think Tango would probably stack this up to the build height limit, but I didn't want to get too overzealous with it. But it's just very simple. Observers detect it, pistons push it, comes on down, goes into the hopper, into the chest. Really easy. And then on this side I did a small super smelter using just regular furnaces. Again, I think Tango would do something where it's like every other one is a furnace or a blast furnace, depending on what he's smelting. And then I also added these chests up here that have nothing but raw iron in there or just coal blocks, because I think it's going to be a little extra. He'd probably find a way to power this all with lava buckets, but I still think this is pretty on brand for Tango.
You think you know me.
In this back section here, I have an idea in my head. I kind of want to do a melon and a pumpkin farm and see if I can get it to stretch the entire way before I do any sort of building out here. But I'm going to see what fits and see if it works out. Melon and pumpkin farm is installed. I thought about adding another layer, but I thought this is going to be more melons and pumpkins than anyone's gonna want to use, so I thought this is gonna be just fine. Next, I went ahead and started building up the face of this farm. Inspiration behind this comes from Impulse's base over here. So Impulse's style is usually black with his yellow eye, and if you guys again want to see what I've done with previous Hermit's bases, you should go check those out. But since he lives right next door to Tango, I thought, oh, maybe this is some kind of design that Impulse helped Tango with and kind of added in his own little flair, because we could easily take out one of these honey blocks and make it an eye, but you know, just kind of leaving it that way. Yellow just complements the deep slate really well. And we can't have a base without an enchantment area. This is, you know, very simple, but I like the idea of using the chiseled bookshelves, including some different books. I haven't added those in yet, but then also including the looms in for some decoration. Maybe Tango would do something with this to be a part of a shop. Maybe people come to his base to shop for books and they can grab from the bookshelves. I don't know, something like that. But I'm really happy with how this area turned out. I just got to do the ceiling and the walls still. As well as the enchantment area, I went ahead and added in some villager trading, because what sort of base is complete without villagers? And then the main area design for the floor is done. I might change this up a little bit, so if you can't tell, it's sort of a sword kind of design in the ground with a little bit of a darker design up here, and then up top I added in some floating candles just to add to the kind of menacing feel to it. Again, I'm not 100% sold on the floor, but I'm glad I tried it out. I might change this up though. It's just not, I don't know, it doesn't look exactly how I wanted it. Yeah, I didn't like the floor. I decided to swap it out, and I think this aesthetic is a lot more true to kind of Tango and his decked out kind of style. Speaking of that, I went ahead and designed one of the 4 main kind of pillars that are going to go on the outside of this build, along with a section of the wall. I'm testing out some different things. I left in the soul kind of colored fire because it really is reminiscent of Decked Out, but I kept the yellow kind of aesthetic that I imagine that Impulse would provide for his buddy Tango, and I think this turned out really good. So we're going to take this idea, it's going to go along the outside, and then we're going to work on the walls and some other stuff going forward.
A few moments later.
So I've gone ahead and done the castle landing up top. We're going to do a little bit of a normal kind of style roof in the back, and then we're going to add a big old nether portal here in the style of a sword. All right, so we went ahead and we did the roof of the back, and our sword style nether portal is looking really good. So I want to decorate the floor around it. Maybe we'll do some burning pyres over in these areas just to make it look even spookier, but I think this build's coming together really nicely. I got a little bit more contrast up here, so let's keep going. So I realized I made a goof here, so we're gonna actually lower the ceiling that's in our melon farm down just a little bit so we can actually build up some ornate staircases going up, and then build a little bit of a decked out tribute to Tango. So I went ahead and did a little bit of a steeper climb using slabs for the stairs, and then probably my favorite part has been building this little tribute to Decked Out. Again, this build is inspired by Tango Tech, so how could I not have a throwback to Season 1 Decked Out? This looks really good. I did include a couple new blocks like the smithing templates and stuff, but I think this turned out pretty good. Yeah, ignore the obsidian there. I'll fix that. All right, before I wrap this up, we're going to do some texturing, and then we're going to work on these towers, and then I think we're going to do some terraforming and make it look even sinister and all that. But let's do some texturing and make this place look really, really good. And after quite a bit of work, our Tango Tech base is done. So you can see I went ahead and I added in some world edited mountains. They're definitely not my best work, but I'm very happy with the atmosphere that they add to this entire build. I made some rock spikes to kind of stick out of the ground and dotted them around the perimeter of the castle. I also wanted to give a huge shout out to Gold Robin for the inspiration for the nether portal, which is sort of the centerpiece to this entire build. And then to connect it up with the other hermits, I added in this deep slate bridge that you can cross. I'll build a staircase at some point because it's going to lead over here to Impulse's underground base. You can click the card in the top right corner if you want to check that one out. But overall, I'm very happy with how this turned out, and I'm excited to see what you guys think. I definitely think my favorite thing that we changed up in here was just the interior, adding the stairs, and then the decked out sort of callback right there in the center, right when you enter. I think it just brings the whole build together. If you haven't checked out my other hermitcraft inspired bases, you can click the playlist right here, or you can click the other ones to see more of my content. Don't forget to check out the links to the description down below. But I'm going to see you guys next one. Let me know in the comments, what hermitcraft member do you want to see me build next? But I'm going to get on out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Always remember, the most important thing is to be odd and wash your hands. Peace, guys.